I'm going to get waiting for my... Hello, Bebo. Bebo White, welcome to the web conference here in Lyon.
Thank you.
Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And I'd just like to hear a little bit about the first web server, which you set up, from what I heard, is that you set that up in 1991?
1991 at the Stanford Linear Accelerator Center, which is a high-energy physics laboratory connected with Stanford University. And the way it wound up being there is because many people probably know that originally the web was invented at CERN, which is a high-energy physics lab in Geneva, Switzerland. And it was a tool to allow physicists to communicate with each other or to collaborate with each other in a very easy way, because physicists would rather do physics than mess around with computers. And that was the original purpose of the web. And
imagining that, what that's evolved to, if you were to speak to your younger self.
Well, I'm not sure I would tell my younger self, except maybe I would tell my younger self that I should have made some investments at that time. But I think I can safely say that any of the individuals who were involved in the development of that web server had no way of predicting that the web was going to become a significant part of society as it is. It was just basically viewed as a useful tool for the scientific community.
And can you tell me how you've been involved in the web conference and how you see its evolution?
Well, early on, after the web started taking off, it was decided, once again at CERN by Robert Cailliau, that it was time to have a conference. And the first conference was in 1994. And since then, the whole goal of the conference series has been to bring together researchers and to discuss the work that they're doing, and those people who were basically viewed as the ones that would affect the evolution of the web, and have discussions about that. And that's pretty much the core goal of it since then, is an academic conference. I think in terms of the future of the conference, the way in which the web has evolved, you've got a lot of people that are interested in the technology, but not interested in it, say, for the same reasons, such as research or academia, but they're interested more in like networking. So one thing we certainly would like to see in this case is to bring in those people, bring in some young blood, as it were, who have some ideas about what the future of the web should look like, and what are the social, political, ethical issues that are facing the web. Because clearly, I think all you have to do is watch the news, and there are lots of challenges now as far as the technology is concerned.
And so I hear that in 2019 that you're bringing the web conference back to San Francisco.
That's true. In 1997, we had the web conference in the Bay Area in Santa Clara, which was a very exciting time, but it was before the big boom. It was certainly before the dot-com boom. And it hasn't been in the Bay Area since, and so clearly Silicon Valley has just undergone an unbelievable transformation, not only in terms, as it were, of the companies that are involved, but all these other factors. And so we were encouraged to bring it back to the Bay Area and try to not catch up on what's happened, since '97, but really address certainly some of the changes that we've seen, like things like social media, which didn't exist then. Mobile was basically insignificant then. And all of those technologies that are now part of the inevitable evolution of what we would anticipate for the web.
Terrific. Well, I believe you have a talk tonight.
Yeah. I'm involved, and this is not necessarily just a reflection of my age, but one of the things I like in terms of the technology is also the history. And the talk I'm giving tonight that I realized is there's been a lot of discussion recently about the fact that this next year, the year of our conference, is going to be the 30th anniversary of the web. It'll be 30 years since the first paper describing the technology was written. And what I also realized is the fact that this year in France, which is, significant because we're here in the conference, is the 40th anniversary of Minitel, which I kind of liked as being, the title of my talk is Le Grand-Père ou la Grand-Mère, excuse my French, of the web, because it was a pretty special time in France to have access to all these online services, which now people take for granted because of the web.
Fantastic. Well, we wish you a wonderful visit, and thank you so much for joining us here
Thank you.
at the web conference.
Makes sense?